Hello everyone, it's Carl and Aaron here, and it's banjo time for Patreon folks. We're going to go to Georgia and do a Skillet Lickers tune. A lot of fun, Liberty Off the Corn Liquor Steel. A crooked tune, as you might suspect from those folks. They had a lot of fun, and I think they may have been familiar with the steel. I'm not sure. But we'll get Aaron to play this crooked tune for us. A lot of fun, the key of G, and we'll hang on to our banjos and see what happens. Fun. We got some of that right, I think, on the banjo over here. Thank you so much.
A lot of fun. Great tune. Enjoy that one.
Thanks for playing that. Wonderful. We'll dig into our parts and see what happens. Thanks. So we're in the tuning. Let's talk about the tuning first for a second, because I was trying to think how to play this tune, and I was just in G tuning as a G tune. So you go to G tuning, and I said, well, that one lick that's so prominent is a D phrase. It has that it's an F sharp and an A note and a D chord, back and forth a bunch, and it doesn't work out so handy on the banjo in a G tuning, but it worked out better in what some people might call kind of a Cumberland Gap kind of tuning, I guess you call it. But let's just think about where our tuning is. So I'm capoed up on the second fret. First of all, let's find that, and I'm tuned. Let's do our tuning checkpoints. We can do that. Your first string, I'll just play the open note. Let you do it by ear first. And your second string is going to be the checkpoint. Second fret, second string checks the first string open. Then the fifth fret on the third string checks the second string open, and then the fifth fret on the low string, and then you have an A note here. Okay? And just kind of hear that sound, a kind of a lonesome sound there, and you'd think, well, that might not work so good for G, but it does pretty good. So our G chord looks like that. You got the third fret, low string, second fret, third string, and the third fret, first string. And let's just look at our chords for a second. There's our G chord. Our C chord is going to be just kind of bringing those bass notes over to the third and second string. And then your D chord could be right there, low string second fret and the first string second fret. And you could also copy, of course, keep in mind any shape that covers all the strings and you have an open string, you can move that C chord, you can move it up and get it up there too. So just looking at the chords of the tune for a second, let's just think about on the guitar backup video I did, I mentioned you could do just G, C, and D, which Riley Puckett did on the guitar, I think, but you could also throw a C chord to an A chord. So sometimes you might hear that because the melody goes up to that A a lot. So you could do just G. Let's just look at G, C, and D. Just kind of back up to a C and keep that C. And that's kind of the basic backup. And one thing also that happens here, which is a little confusing, it has an extra, it's a crooked tune, so it has two beats that carry over a little longer than you think. So you have like you're going, back and forth. Then you got two more beats before you're back around. So keep that in mind if you're backing it up. So you'd be like a. play the melody, we'll figure that out. If you wanted to put an A chord in there, you would just do that G chord. You can walk up to C, and you put the A right here. And I'm doing like a stretched out is 4, 2, and 5. Or you could go up and put a bluesy note in there, and then stay up there. I'll do that one more time. So it's just a G chord. Then we'll start working on the melody. Then the A. You hear how that third string climbs? So you can kind of get a melodious backup there, which sounds like it ought to be a singing group, the melodious backups. So they drove everywhere in reverse. Something you can work on the back up there. And again, getting back around, you're going to have the crooked part to end with. So let's just look at each part there and see if we can put our phrases together there. So the little pickup start has a little third fret low. It's right at the chord. You're really outlining the chord, but you have an open pull off. There's your pickup. Then you're going to get stuck keeping that second fret third string, and you don't have to do all the notes the fiddle did. I was doing a lot of them there, that back and forth, da-da-da-da-da-da, or kind of the rat-a-tat thing, which would be a drop thumb. So I'll just start that phrase a little slow there. So you have the pickup, you can't come in on the third beat. You'd be like 1, 2, climbing up, rat-a-tat, drop thumb. And it arrives at the C chord there. Let's just try that G phrase a few times. 1, 2, drop thumb city. Then you can kind of, and on the C chord we're gonna have the low bass a couple times, and then that third string you could even do a little hammer. So that's the first couple of little phrases. We'll try a couple more times. So the first couple of phrases on the first part of Liberty Off the Corn Liquor Steal from the Skillet Lickers. 1, play, drop thumb, get that second C chord, 4th string twice, and the 3rd string maybe a little hammer. Then we get into another kind of rat-a-tat, that lick that was so hard to get in the regular G tuning without some strife. Here it's nice because it's the 1st string, 2nd fret, and the 5th string. So how many times we do that a bunch? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then you have a pull off and a little crossover lick. I'm getting my index, thumb, and index on the low string. So it's outlining the G chord. So there's that little, and also they kind of jump into that early sometimes. So the fiddler might go a little early. Pull off back to G, and then you just do that a couple times with a note brush on the low bass and a hammer. So that's halfway through the first part. So it's not going to be that bad, especially when you get the rat-a-tats comfortable to you. So 1, play. C chord low twice, 3rd string with a little hammer. Get ready for the hammer. You can rat-a-tat. You can go early if you like. Pull off back to G and a hammer. Then you're going to go, you have a little hammer back into the, so I'm going to do that one more time, and I'll go back around the second time, and we're going to have a different second ending. So here's with the first ending and going back around and arriving where we need to learn our second ending. 1, 2. You can do a little hammer too. A lot of things you can do there. C chord, 3rd string, and you don't have pull off, low string, maybe a hammer, and you go back. Here's the second ending. of tricky. I'm just kind of going to the first string because it's kind of hard to hold chord. You have that 3rd fret, 5th string, back to the 1st string, 3rd fret, and a open, pull off, and a hammer. So brush, 5th string, 3rd, pull off, and hammer, and the 5th again. So the 5th string's featured prominently there in the 3rd fret. So the first part one more time with both endings there. I'll do the second ending one more time before we go back around. So it's that chord, brush, 5th string. There's a little weight there. Wait, pull off, hammer, and wait again. So a little bit of syncopation. Just try it a few times. Wait. That's nice. So here's the whole first part there, in some semblance or fashion there. And of course, when you get with the fiddler, they're all going to do this differently. And of course, the skillet lickers, every time around, they did things differently. So this is just one little snapshot there, and to get you in the ballpark for kind of playing along with the recordings or the different fiddlers and just seeing what happens there. So one play. 3rd string hammer, work that rat-a-tat. 1st and 5th. Pull off, back to G. Hammer to 3rd, and a little hammer. Beautiful. And now we're going to have the lead in to the second part. It's that same, that little hammer. And again, we're a lot of drop thumb on the phrases. So here's to get us into the second part. So you have those 3 of those, and then we're going to go up to the from the capo. Now you got to keep in mind we got a capo on the 2nd fret. So we're going up to the 7th fret from the capo, and I'm going to get that G chord. So here's the little lick, starting the second part. So let's just try that. That's a lovely thing. So working that hammer from open to 2nd to 3rd string, and then open again. Hammer from 2 to 3, and then you're going to work that drop thumb, index and thumb, open 2nd string to the 2nd fret, 3rd string, 3 times. To 7 on the 1st string, 5th string, and then you get that G chord 1st string feature with the brush. Do that one more time. This is kind of kicking into the second part. So again, it's coming in, on that 2-beat phrase, the crooked shenanigans of this tune. So 1, 2, 3 times. And this is the fun part. You're going to go up. There's a lot of ways to get the licks on the banjo. This is what I found to be easiest to me. The 5th fret, 2nd string, the 5th string, and the 7th fret, and then a drop thumb back to that 5th fret note on the 2nd string. So let's just try that, holding that chord down. So we got 5 on the 2nd, 1st finger, and you can use your 3rd finger on the 7th fret, and then our little finger, either one's good. I kind of like my little finger sometimes. And then the string for the pattern is 2, 5, 1, 2. Index, thumb, I'm using my middle, and then drop thumb. And then what's going to happen out of that, 1st string open, and then a drop thumb to that 3rd fret, 3rd string. And you might want to get it with your 1st finger, and this is another place you can get it different ways, but I think it sounds good to hit that note. You're going to do a little hammer from 3 to 5, and a slide from 3 to 2. And we get up to this high 5th fret. So let me do that much, and that's halfway through sort of our, we're going to get back into our rat-a-tat, that lick. The rat-a-tat's the star of this show, I think. So here's the second part. G chord, brush, 3rd string, hammer, slide, and up to that 5th fret. And that's where the A chord could arrive if you wanted to do the A chord in the tune. But Riley Puckett just stays on the C, I think. One more time. 1, 2. Right, G chord, brush, second string note in there might be fun. And then you go down to the 3rd fret and you're going to be back to that old familiar lick. Just like the first part. Then you go again, repeat. The second part one more time, and I'll try to do both parts in some fashion there. And again, like I say, these crooked tunes, every fiddler plays them a little different, and sometimes they get more crooked, sometimes they get straightened out. So it's nice to kind of keep. I think sometimes people get these crooked tunes, they straighten them out a little too much, so they lose the tune loses its flavor if you take off too much of the personality. So I think the crooked tunes are great to keep them like they are there. So here we go, the second part one more time of Liberty Off the Corn Liquor, still in G. And we're in that kind of Cumberland Gap tuning. Remember our tuning. Beautiful sound. So 1, 2, 3. Hammer slide, 5th fret high to the 3rd, and rat-a-tat. 1st and 5th string. Phrase. I slowed it down a little bit there. So let's try both parts and see what happens there. And just it'll take a little time to get used to it, but once you get used to that, a lot of drop thumbing, if you hadn't done much drop thumbing, this will be a great tune for you to practice and get a handle on it for sure, because your thumbs are doing half the work of this tune. Be a good thumb exercise. So here it is one more time. The whole tune, we'll try it just nice and slow. It has a pickup, so it comes in on that. Remember that the first time. The rest of the licks are, except when you come back around to that start again. Down 1, 2, and we're coming on the 3rd beat, right? So 1, 2. C chord, 3rd string, rat-a-tat 1st and 5th. Pull off, G chord, hammer. Second ending's different. Right, good. And then the second part. 3 times. Hammer slide, 5th fret. Might have an inning. That's a beautiful tuning. If you hadn't played in that tuning before, I think you'll find a lot of great banjo pieces. Adam Hurt and folks like that use it a lot, I think, because it's so pretty. It has a lot of, it lends itself well to a lot of pretty phrases. These guys played a little more boisterous, but this tuning seemed to be the best way to get a handle on it. You might try it in G tuning and see what you think. You might come up with something, and if you do, I hope you'll email me and say, here's how I do it, and it works out pretty good, and I'd appreciate that. But I hope you'll try this out, Liberty Off the Corn Liquor, still the key of G, and listen to some skillet lickers if you haven't before. And if you have, go back and listen to them some more, because they'll make you feel better. Just listen to an old record from some of those string bands is pretty happy stuff. So they had a lot of fun. And we got to still do that too. Banjo could help you too. So take care, and I hope you enjoy this too.